www.ogtv.com.ng/live or email info@ogtv.com.ng. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has confirmed it adjusted pump prices of premium motor spirit, known better as petrol, across the country. In a statement on Wednesday by its Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Garabardin Mohammed, the National Oil Company explained that the adjusted pump price was in line with current market realities. According to reports, less than 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu declared an end to fuel subsidy, the pump price of petrol skyrocketed to 600 naira per litre from 195 naira per litre in many parts of the country. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has rejected the new pump prices for petroleum products announced by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), saying it was against the interests of deregulation. The Labour movement noted that the oil giant could not be talking of deregulation in one breath and price fixing in another. The NNPCL on Wednesday jacked up the pump prices of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, by over 200%, bringing the price of fuel to between 488 naira and 557 naira per litre. The NLC argued that the decision to announce a new pump price regime was against the interest of social dialogue. In a statement by its president, Joe Ajaero, the NLC called on the federal government to immediately instruct the NNPCL to withdraw this vexatious pricing template to allow free flow of discussions by the parties. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has assured the entire workforce of the Gateway State that his administration would prioritize their welfare and other packages to enhance service delivery. Governor Abiodun stated this while the entire civil service led by the head of service, Mr. Kola Wale Fagbo, ushered him into Government Secretariat at Okemoson, Abeokuta. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
It was a rousing welcome for Governor Dapo Abiodun as the entire civil service led by head of service, Mr. Kola Wale Fagbo, gathered to usher him into office after winning another term of office.
We thank you for your mercy over our government.
Mr. Fagbo appreciated the governor for his doggedness and leadership in the last 4 years, while assuring him that the civil service would be ever ready to support the Building a Future Together agenda of his administration.
We have been waiting eagerly to receive the secretariat because this is a new season, a new period of excellence. We pray that as God has made the first term to be successful and impactful, this second term will be far more glorious than the first time. We want to assure you, Excellency, that your workers are solidly behind you. Your success is our glory.
Governor Abiodun was excited with the warm welcome, acknowledged that the Ogun State Civil Service is the best in Nigeria, adding that his administration would continue to prioritize their welfare and give the necessary impetus to improve their service delivery.
But I want to seize this opportunity to thank you, because on the cooperation that we have given to my appointees in the last 4 years, if not for that cooperation, we will not have witnessed the level of socio-economic development that we have seen in the state. We have been wrangling in one ministry to the other because I know politicians will come in, they believe that they're subduing the kings of those ministries. Because they will say, I want people's power, I want the election. So they have a sense of ownership and this sense of entitlement. I want to thank you for your patience, your understanding and cooperation, and being able to manage us, including myself. I want to pledge to you that I will continue to look for ways and means to improve you so that you continue to be more intellectually academically and professionally imbued. So you can hold your own anywhere you go in the world.
He reiterated his commitment to taking the state to a new level in the next 4 years of his administration by embarking on more developmental projects.
I want to assure you that the projects we have in the central, like our dry port, which is going to be a game changer, which will be a port but just without a sea. Can you imagine? A port, the only thing that will not be there will be a sea, but everything that a port has will be there. But it will not go, but it is already in Kajuna. You can imagine the multiplier effect in our economy, the way it's going to impact the ease of doing business for all our industries and manufacturers. Already we are the investment and manufacturing choice of destination in this country. If anybody thinks of setting up an industry, the first place they think of is Ogun State, because of all the tireless work that all of you have put in.
Prince Abiodun was inaugurated as the 5th civilian governor of the state and celebrated his 63rd birthday on the 29th of May 2023. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
The Government Council, management, staff and students of Moshood Abiola Polytechnic have expressed sincere gratitude to the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for his effort aimed at uplifting the institution during its trying moment. In a congratulatory message on Governor Abiodun's re-election, the chairman of the institution's Government Council, Professor Kamaldeen Balogun, on behalf of the board, management and staff, expressed their loyalty to the current administration. The Polytechnic, in a statement on behalf of the Council by the Head of Public Relations and Protocol, Yomi Ajibola, the Polytechnic lauded government intervention in the areas of provision of potable water, donation of a 500 kVA transformer to alleviate the long-standing issues of inadequate power supply, and the rehabilitation of the Oloke-Mapoli Road, which has eased the pains suffered by commuters. These efforts, according to the statement, are symbolic to resuscitating positive interest in the Polytechnic's education standards, which will in turn create a smooth business ecosystem. The Government Council Chairman commended the management, staff and students for the resilience towards restoring the glorious status of the Polytechnic. 1,128 students have been matriculated into various departments of learning in Southwestern Nigeria College of Health Technology, Shotubo, Shagamu, Ogun State. Margaret Okunola reports that the rector of the college, Dr. Adedayo Adebanjo, urged the newly admitted students to aim for excellence and keep the flag flying. A report.
These are students from across the country after fulfilling the basic requirements by Southwestern Nigeria College of Health Technology, Shotubo, Shagamu, Ogun State, now being officially observed into the institution to kickstart the 2022-2023 academic session.
I want to be a good ambassador of Southwestern Nigeria College of Health Technology. So help me God!
The rector, Southwestern Nigeria College of Health Technology, Dr. Adedayo Adebanjo, congratulated the matriculants for officially joining the citadel of learning, while charging them to study in line with its vision of impacting excellence in the students.
We have quality educational service to over the entire matriculating students. They are welcome on board to one of the best college of health tech in Nigeria. We have one of the world-class clinical training programs offering over 4 teaching hospitals in Nigeria.
With its core values as integrity, excellence, commitment, professionalism, dignitaries flocked the event, including the former governor of Ogun State, Otunba Gbenga Daniel, represented by Dr. Kolade Segun Okeowo, who urged the newly admitted students to abide by the rules and regulations of the institution and participate actively in all activities of the college.
You are very, very key in society. After your admission to this school, we are going to repose some responsibility on you immediately you graduate from this.
My advice to the students, as I've said earlier, is for them to read their book and pass, because in this school you have to be serious.
The school is well organized, and the school is going to boost to Shotubor.
1,008 students were admitted into the departments of Public Health, Epidemiology and Reproductive Health, while 120 students were admitted into the Department of Community Health.
I expect to learn more about
It's an opportunity given to me.
I'm here to get knowledge and also after the studies and have my license.
The disposition and expression of the matriculants, parents and guardians cannot be mistaken, as joy was evident with determined faces, hopeful for a bright future ahead. Margaret Okunola, Ogtv News.
The leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ogun State Council, has issued a warning to Prince Benga Olusoga to desist from illegal acquisition of the land belonging to the union in Leme, Abeokuta. Addressing the media, Chairman of the union, Comrade Wale Olanrewaju, expressed dismay that anyone could plan to buy or sell Iwere, the cradle of journalism in the country. Matthew Shomi reports.
As activities of land grabbers continue to pose threats to the society, the fourth estate of the realm in Ogun State is the latest victim of the Dasali Act, as Prince Benga Olusoga and Engineer Lekan Banjoko have decided to take their land grabbing activities a step higher. This is why the leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ogun State Council, is addressing this press conference.
This fraudulent act is orchestrated by one Prince Benga Olusoga, who brazenly brags of his connection in high places, especially the governor and government of Ogun State. Prince Olusoga, in flagrant disregard to NUJ ownership of the land, rented our land to mechanics, panel beaters, lawyers, and the rest, collecting money and feeding fat where he did not so.
In what looks like a double trouble for journalists in Ogun State, Comrade Olanrewaju said some people have also perfected plans to sell off Iwere, the secretariat of journalists, warning that anyone who decides to put his money on such purported business should be ready for the consequences.
And when we are addressing the press today, is popularly called and known Iwere. The land is currently under siege by some greedy individuals who are retired and serving staff of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing.
The chairman also warned sex workers to desist from desecrating the home of journalism in the country.
Guys who are retired, our veterans find it difficult to relate with us in the evening. Nobody wants to come here because of the shame that these shameless ladies are bringing to this secretariat. Enough is enough. And we stand here to say, in a very clear terms, carrying out the directive given to us at the Congress, that any of our tenants who accommodate these ladies shall be ejected immediately.
He called on the relevant security agencies in the state to rise up to the occasion. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
In a concerted escalation of the ongoing campaign against illicit supply and abuse of drugs, the Ogun State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in collaboration with the 35 Artillery Brigade, Nigeria Army, and the Ogun State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has launched the fourth phase of its mobile up and counter-narcotics intelligence operations in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The operation is part of a broader chain of drug law enforcement exercises aimed at dislodging drug trafficking networks in Ogun State. The carefully orchestrated operation, which commenced last Sunday, aimed to target notorious drug joints, was tagged Operation Cleanup. The results of the operation resulted in operatives seizing a jaw-dropping 222.42 kilograms of cannabis sativa, also known as marijuana, in one fell swoop. In addition to the cannabis seizure, the joint forces discovered 40 bottles of codeine weighing a total of 0.4 liters, highlighting the misuse of pharmaceutical drugs. In all, this fourth phase of the mopping up and counter-narcotics intelligence operations in Ogun State highlights the unwavering commitment of the Ogun State NDLEA Command to fulfill the NDLEA mandate of combating the drug trade and protecting communities from the harmful effects of addiction and criminal activities. The Presidential Election Petition Court has adjourned to June 1 the hearing of the petition by the Labour Party and its candidate, Peter Obi, against the President, Bola Tinubu, following the illness of two key staff members of his legal team. Counsel for the petitioners, Awakalu SAN, persuaded the court to adjourn further proceedings on the case it filed to challenge the outcome of the February 25 presidential election, through which Tinubu emerged as president. Kalu SAN, representing the petitioners, told the court on Wednesday that two key members of the team suddenly fell ill and would not attend the day's proceedings. He said the absence has affected earlier plans to tender vital documents before the court. According to him, the unexpected development concerns the sudden illness of two of key staff, for which reason it is constrained to ask for an adjournment to tomorrow, Thursday, June 1. Responding to the development, counsel to the respondents said they were constrained to oppose the request. Counsel for Tinubu, Wole Olamipekun SAN, told the court that it was not opposed to the request for an adjournment, just as counsel for the Independent National Electoral Commission, A.B. Mahmood SAN, and counsel for the All Progressive Congress, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, acceded to the application. In a brief ruling, the president of the court, Justice Haruna Samani, granted the application and adjourned the petition till Thursday. And still to come, Gender Equality Bill scales second reading at the Senate. Details of this and more reports after this short break. Ogtv News. The World Health Organization, WHO, has blamed the food and nutrition insecurity affecting many parts of Africa on increasing tobacco cultivation. In a message to commemorate World No Tobacco Day, the Regional Director for Africa, WHO, Dr. Mashidiso Moeti, said more land that should be used for cultivation of good crops was used for the cultivation of tobacco, which destroys the ecosystem. Moeti said the people face a grave challenge in food and nutrition security imposed by the increasing tobacco famine in the African region, noting that in recent years, tobacco cultivation has shifted to Africa because of a regulatory environment that is more favorable to the tobacco industry, as well as increasing demand for tobacco. Nearly 828 million people are facing hunger globally. Of these, 278 million, which represents 20%, are in Africa. Moeti said the WHO had been working with member states and other partners to assist farmers in shifting from tobacco growing to alternative crops. The Senate has asked its Committee on Foreign Loans to work on former President Muhammadu Buhari's request for the issuance of promissory notes to settle debts. The request was up for consideration during Wednesday's plenary session. However, a federal lawmaker, Senator Jed Sakibu, raised a point of order, arguing that the Ninth Senate cannot pass the request as it is winding down and does not have enough time to do a thorough analysis of the request. He proposed that the incoming 10th Senate should handle the matter. The Deputy Senate President, V. Omagege, who presided over the plenary, however, ruled that the Foreign Loans Committee should work on the request and return with a report in 1 week. Buhari, who handed over to President Bola Tinubu on May 29, had written to the National Assembly requesting the resolution of Parliament to settle priority judgment debts incurred by federal ministries, departments, and agencies through the issuance of promissory notes. The Senate on Wednesday passed the Gender Bill for second reading. The bill aims to eliminate every form of discrimination against women and people living with disabilities. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Biodo Olujimi, noted that if the bill is signed into law, it will motivate women to aspire and reach their full potential. Olujimi in 2021 was asked to withdraw the legislation after some of her colleagues raised arguments it is against their socio-cultural and religious beliefs. The Gender and Equality Opportunities Bill, according to Olujimi, will ensure the equality of opportunities for every person. According to her, the bill further consolidates Senate's courageous passage of the bill on sexual violence in higher institutions in Nigeria, assuring girls, women, and men of protection from abuse and exploitation in schools.
Those in favor that this be referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
There was palpable tension on Wednesday at the Plateau State House of Assembly following the fresh sealing of the facility by the police. A member of the State House of Assembly, Godson Fom, who condemned the action of the police, said that the development had prevented the state lawmakers from reconvening for the plenary scheduled for Wednesday. For about 2 months, the Plateau State House of Assembly was under lock and key at the instance of the police high command, whose personnel daily manned the assembly complex. Since the police sealed the complex about 2 months ago, the lawmakers have not been able to hold plenary until last Tuesday, barely 24 hours after Caleb Mufwang succeeded Samuel Along as the new governor of the state. Meanwhile, the police explained that it sealed the complex to forestall a breakdown of law and order in the wake of the leadership crisis rocking the assembly. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons has dismissed a deputy director and 4 other officers for various offenses, including bribery, corruption, and leaking confidential information to suspects. The press officer of NAPTIP, Vincent Adekoye, disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. Adekoye explained that the offenses range from corruption to demanding and receiving bribes from suspects and relatives. According to him, their offenses committed by the officers were leaking confidential information to suspects that endangered the lives of colleagues, violating the oath of secrecy, stealing and alteration of official records, and being absent without official leave. The disciplinary actions followed the approval of the Governing Board of the agency at its meeting of May 25, 2023. Adekoye also announced that a federal high court sitting in Sokoto State convicted a law enforcement officer and sentenced him to prison. Key followers of the murder case against the owner of the Hilton Hotel in Ife, Prince Ramon Adedoyin, have formed up for the Nigerian judiciary system. A cross-section of Nigerians who spoke on the matter in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, said the law is no respecter of anybody. Fowora Adesanwo has more.
The outcome of the murder case against Anife Prince, the owner of the Oduduwa University and Hilton Hotel, both in Ile-Ife, Osun State, Prince Rahman Adedoyin, where a master's degree student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, Timothy Adegoke, was killed in cold blood some time ago, have been attracting comments from a cross-section of Nigerians. Rahman Adedoyin and 2 others have been sentenced to death by hanging by Osun High Court for conspiracy and murder of Timothy Adegoke.
My message to all Nigerians, whether you are rich or poor, try as much as possible to ensure that you do not breach the law of the state.
Because we need some of these things to checkmate some of the activities of these bad characters.
Reacting to the sentence of the culprit in the murder charges, our respondents said quite a number of moral lessons could be drawn from the incident.
He was communicating effectively with his people. This is a great lesson to all and sundry, because if the man has not done that, perhaps they will still be looking for his whereabouts, whether he has been involved in an accident, whether he has been kidnapped or not, whether it is this or that. But thank God, because he effectively used his phone.
To me, I think it will serve as a deterrent to others that want to do that. As far as I'm concerned, anybody that wants to take people's life don't need to be pardoned.
The Nigerian judiciary and the police were also commended for a thorough job, as the judgment was against the saying in the local parlance that the dead would not win a case against the living.
I want to thank the judiciary for the role it has played on this issue. It means people will still have confidence in courts.
Barrister Thomas Akichubuwa views it from the legal perspectives. He says no one is above the law.
The person that breaks the law will bear the consequence.
On whether a civil case should be instituted by the victims' relations for the untimely death of their breadwinner, Akichubuwa says there is no harm in testing the waters.
The dependent of Adegoke can go to court and ask for compensation. That will now be left for the court of law to decide.
All the respondents agree that the global system of mobile communication GSM phones are not only tools for communication, but a must for those who could afford it for safety, as seen in the case under review. The vehicle used by the culprit and the Hilton Hotel in Ile-Ife, where the crime took place, have been forfeited to the Osun State government. Fowora Adesanwo, Ogtv News.
Meanwhile, the Osun State High Court sitting in Osogbo has sentenced Ms. Adedeji Adeshola, the receptionist that received the late Timothy Adegoke when he lodged in the Hilton Hotel, Ile-Ife, in the evening of November 6, 2021, to 2 years imprisonment for altering the receipt issued to the deceased. Adeshola's sentence was pronounced at the sitting of the court on Wednesday by Osun State Chief Judge Adepele Ojo. She was said to have fabricated another receipt for the purpose of concealing traces of Adegoke's lodgement at the hotel. The presiding judge, Justice Ojo, had on Tuesday found Adeshola guilty of doctoring the hotel receipt issued to the deceased, fabricating another, and concealing evidence charged against her. The father said the 2 years should start counting from the first day she was detained since the commencement of the matter. On Tuesday, the court convicted the founder of Hilton Hotel, Ile-Ife, Ramon Adedoyin, and 3 staff of the hotel of conspiracy to murder and the postgraduate student of Obafemi Awolowo University. The death has been announced of Babatunde Akanbi Shongokule, whose sad occurrence took place on Wednesday, 24th of May, 2023. A native of Okeodon in Jiwa South local government, Ogun State, Pa Shongokule was the pioneer principal and Saridin High School, Ejigbo, Osun State, and was principal in several secondary schools in both Ogun and Oyo states. He was Commissioner 2 in the Ogun State Local Government Service Commission during the military era, and at different times Commissioner for Works and Housing and of Health in the state. The Christian community leader, Pa Shongokule, also at one time served as a member of the National Economic Intelligence Committee in Abuja. He is survived by his wife, Mrs. Kemi Shongokule, a former Assistant General Manager at Ogun State Television, children and relatives. Funeral arrangements for the deceased would be announced soon. In a similar development, burial activities for Pastor Olusegun Abiodun Ogunaike will commence with a wake on Friday, 2nd June 2023 at our Savior African Church, Ujiri, off Mapoli Road, Abeokuta from 5 in the evening. Burial service for the deceased holds on Saturday, 3rd June 2023 at the same venue from 10 in the morning. This will be followed by a reception at OOPL Event Center, Abeokuta. Born on 22nd December 1958, late Pastor Olusegun Abiodun Ogunaike died on May 11, 2023. He is survived by wife, children, siblings, and grandchildren. May their souls rest in perfect peace. It's now time to join Okoyemi Adewumi for business news.
Many thanks for joining us on the business segment of the news. African Development Bank President Akinwumi Adesina and the Deputy Executive Secretary and Chief Economist of the Economic Commission for Africa, Anan Morsi, have lamented the high cost of debt incurred by African government, adding that it was